What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to a pretty long-awaited video, to say the least. And yeah, today we are going to be discussing the M13 versus the FFAR. So when the FFAR came out for Season 5, I did I don't know if I made a promise, but I did say I was going to make a comparison between the M13 and the FFAR, because the way I see it right now, they are currently twin weapons from completely different games. Basically, two assault rifles with the fastest fire rate from both of the games that they came from. Of course, the M13 came from Modern Warfare 2019, while the FFAR came from Black Ops Cold War, at least the one that this one comes out specifically. There's different iterations of the FFAR. They had one for Black Ops 3, for the original Black Ops, and also Black Ops Cold War, but the motto definitely is from Cold War. So starting off with the M13, which came out first, I believe, in Season 8 of Year 2. Probably one of the more overpowered assault rifles that we had for quite a bit. This, of course, was right before they started, updating all the weapons to make them on par with this one. So at the moment, the M13, despite the buff that I recently got the previous season, is still not the best assault rifle in the game. And with the release of the FFAR, it does kind of give it a run for its money. But there are some good qualities that this does have over the FFAR. So obviously the first thing that you should know, that the gunsmith for this weapon is a lot different from the FFAR, because that one has the Black Ops gunsmith template. This one is a lot more different with a lot higher, penalties. And given that, the suppressor barrel did change a bit last season, the recoil penalties are a little bit higher, but not to the point where it's like the gun's unusable, but it does help immensely. I would say that maybe the silencer barrel is probably one of the things that makes it close, like probably the closest thing to a Black Ops Task Force barrel. That wasn't the only thing that was changed also. I think the marksman barrel was also changed so that you could actually, have 35% more bullet speed, which is something I believe the silencer barrel does have, but only at 20%, but it's still helpful nonetheless. So by default, if you do shoot anywhere but the head, it does land a 5-shot kill. Eventually goes down to a 6-shot, like deeper down the line, but not to the point where it's like at 15 meters or, even 20 meters at that. But of course, a single headshot is able to be enough to make it into a 4-shot kill, which is not really that hard to achieve so long as you at least get one of them. But if you do manage to land all headshots, then all you need is really just a it basically lands into a 3-shot kill. But I would say one of the benefits of this headshot damage is that it doesn't really fall off as fast as the FFAR. Like even up to like plus 20 meters, you could still land that 3-shot kill, which is pretty cool. So now up to the ammo capacity, I would say, well, obviously, yeah, the M13 definitely has the better ammo capacity. The only difference is that it does kind of slow you down significantly, not to the point where it's like it just makes your gun unmovable, but pretty much to the point where it's not as good as the FFAR. Despite it only having like a 44 round mag and a 44 round fast mag, the ADS penalties aren't really that severe with that gun. But again, given the recent update that the M13 got, we are able to have a lot more options with what magazine we actually want. Because back in the day, I mean, we didn't have any sort of barrel that increased your bullet speed, but now we do. And the silencer barrel is probably the perfect choice if you want to use the 60 round mag, because it doesn't slow you down at all. It doesn't increase ADS speed either, but it does help with your range and your bullet speed. And I would say it's a far better attachment than that 40 round silencer mag that I think it costs like 8% ADS speed. So already right there, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer to use the barrel instead. One thing I will say, and I can't believe I was wrong, because I kind of misjudged the fire rate of the FFAR and how it would perform, because I swear to God, it didn't feel like it was that fast in Cold War, but I guess they made the fire rate maybe a little faster here in this game. So apparently, the M13 isn't actually as fast as the FFAR. It actually has a slower fire rate. Again, still can't believe I was wrong about that. Me and my friend Parker were actually debating that. We're just like, fuck you, no fuck you type of, argument there. But no, he was right. And sometimes I have to be man enough to admit when the try is wrong. So now we move on to the FFAR, the brand new assault rifle that is supposed to rival the M13. It's basically the Black Ops version of the M13. So I've already said a lot about the FFAR. It's a very, very solid assault rifle. I'm surprised it's not part of the meta yet, but give it some time. It'll probably get there at some point if they make another buff. But yes, it does have the fastest fire rate, but at the same time, a very, very minimal amount of recoil. Probably a lot less than it probably should. Using the task force barrel, which is basically the recommended barrel for the gun, it does raise the recoil a bit, but not to the point where it's even close to the M13. And that is if you are using the M13 with the silencer barrel, which is basically the task force barrel for that gun. However, of course, for the FFAR, it's a little different because the task force actually gives it a slightly better edge when it comes to damage. And it basically helps you get a 4-shot kill a lot more effectively than before, where you actually had to shoot in the head in order to get the 4-shot kill, much like the M13. It does have that 3-shot headshot potential, but again, the range doesn't extend as far as it would if it was the M13. So the M13 has far more range to keep it very consistent. But with this one, the range does drop off a little quicker. So as it goes for the ammo capacity, that's of course a different thing because it only goes up to 44 with or without the fast mag. You can't really go any higher, unfortunately. But of course, the reload speed for this weapon by default, without any speed mags, I would say is a lot faster than the M13 and a lot more effective. It doesn't really matter which 44 round mag you use. And given its faster fire rate, it does kill a lot faster, even if you're at a longer range. Of course, the time to kill does increase a bit at those longer ranges because the damage goes down to like 17 or 18. So you're going to have to be performing like a 6-shot kill. So as for ADS speed, it's kind of like a mix of both. I mean, both could really be as fast as the other depending on how you build it, especially if you use that 44 round salvo mag that makes it, reload a lot faster. It kind of makes it near the level of the M13 if you have like the silencer barrel on with like no stock and everything. So really, like, it could go either way when it comes to ADS speed. But one huge flaw that this weapon does have, not really a flaw, but it's by design, which is actually the sprint to fire speed. So the sprint to fire speed is one of the common issues with the FFAR. Like, you have to use a certain stock to kind of increase the sprint to fire, or else you're kind of screwed in most gunfights. I would say even if you try to use those stocks, it doesn't help it that much, or at least as much as you think. But it's still something that's worth trying. Either you want to use the close quarters one without any extra movement speed, or if you want to use the the bandit steady stock. Sorry, they keep changing the names around. But yeah, it could go either way with those. So at the end of the day, the M13 and the FFAR are both very, very solid weapons. The M13 has been solid for quite a long time despite its nerfs and its buffs. Of course, they're both not the best weapon currently. I think it's still the CBR, and I think as of recently, it might be the Kilo or something. I don't know. I haven't kept up with rank. I haven't even started grinding to Legendary. But yeah, both of them are pretty solid. I would recommend actually using the FFAR in close range maps. With the M13 I would recommend using that for like longer range maps. That's kind of how I see them work. I mean, M13 long range, FFAR short range. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I want to see what you guys would prefer more, the M13 or the FFAR as of right now. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful day, guys.